welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for this video for a few reasons. One, because it's the first one I've ever filmed in our new apartment. If you guys haven't been watching my last few videos, and I'm sure you guys know, but we recently got our apartment that we're moving into, and so we've slowly been kind of making it more of a home. And it's obviously very quiet in here because it's just me and there's no furniture, so you can probably hear it echoing a lot. So I just decided to take advantage of it and film a little video in here for you guys. It's been so fun decorating a place and having a new place, and I'm so excited to keep showing you guys. So if you guys want to stick around for all the home stuff, make sure to subscribe because I've just been posting a ton of content about that. Secondly, I haven't done a sit down video in forever, and it even feels just weird filming this right now because it's been such a long time since I've just sat down and chatted and talked about stuff and not done like a vlog style video. So I just thought it would be fun to ask for questions on Instagram. My Instagram is @MichelleReed if you guys want to follow me. I've also been doing a lot of home stuff on there too, but you guys asked a few questions, and so I just wanted to do kind of like a chatty video talking about a lot of different things. Obviously just going through a lot of life changes right now, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to do that. I also did a podcast episode answering a few questions, and they may overlap a little, but if you want to listen to the podcast as well, I will have it linked down below. It's called But What's Next, and it has a lot of different stuff. I interview guests, I do solo podcasts, I do a lot of different stuff, so you guys should subscribe to it if you want to listen. So the first question is, where are you getting / planning to get your home decor? So we have gotten our home decor from a lot of different places. We've actually just really been getting a lot of furniture right now. We don't have a lot of like decor stuff yet. We actually sat down before we got all of our furniture and kind of set out a budget of how much we wanted to spend on the bigger pieces. So like our couch, our desks, our bed, all those things. And so our couch was probably the biggest buy we've had so far. It was from Weir's, which is a furniture store. They don't do online sales, but it's in the DFW area of Texas if you guys want to check it out. We got our big mirror from an antique shop. That was a really awesome deal. It was actually marked down. And then our coffee table and our little console back there that we still don't have a TV on, that was from Stacy's Furniture. And then our desks are from World Market. So we've been kind of getting stuff from all over. I just started going on Facebook Marketplace to find our kitchen table and our chairs, and I'm now just trying to get more like vintage pieces to make it feel just a little bit different and have like a mix, because right now there's a lot of wood going on and I kind of want some other materials. Money weren't an issue and you could live anywhere other than New York or Texas, where would you live? So I answered this one in the podcast, but I think that we would probably live in Charleston, South Carolina. It was one of our favorite places we've ever been to. Just a very quaint, just a very beautiful city, and I found that the people were really friendly. It seemed like people were really friendly to each other. And you also have the beach, which I'm a big beach person, and the weather seems a little bit warmer, which is something that we both like too. Maybe me more than him. I think he likes colder weather better. But all that to say, we love Charleston, but I can't honestly picture us living anywhere except New York or Texas in this moment. I think down the road, we'd like to live somewhere where we can maybe have more land or something. That's like a recent thing that we've kind of thought about. But for now, really happy to be here, and also do really love New York. Looking for a job in a big city and not feeling less than with all the other more than capable applicants. This is something that I feel like people don't really talk about, because when I was applying for jobs in New York City, I felt so intimidated. It just felt like there were so many other really smart people out there, and that's because there are a ton of really smart people in bigger cities, but I think that you just can't compare yourself to the other people you know are applying, and just walk into the interview like you are the smartest person, like you are the most capable, like you are the person that they should hire. Because I feel like when you have that mindset, it's going to show to the person who you're interviewing with, and they're going to be more likely to see that. So just feeling like you've practiced too, like do mock interviews with your friends, go over things that you think that they're going to ask you. If you have like a portfolio, read over it. I think that those are all things that are really helpful for just practicing and seeing if it's a good fit. But I totally understand it can be really nerve-wracking. One time I interviewed for this really big PR firm in New York City, and I didn't get the job that I went for. It's actually an internship, I think, but I just knew that there were so many other people going for it, and I just always kind of held that in my mind like I wasn't qualified enough. But you can't think that. Putting yourself out there, making friends as an adult after college. This is so hard, especially because we just moved here, and obviously with the pandemic, you're not necessarily going out and meeting new people, and so It's really hard to make friends right now, but even before then, I think outside of college, it can be so difficult to make friends. And outside of work, like whenever I worked my more traditional job, most of my friends were at my work and at my job because I spent most of my time with my coworkers. But now it seems like I have my few close friends and that is really it. Just because it's hard to meet people. But I guess for me, we plan on meeting people at our church once we find a church here. I think that'll be a big thing. And then just meeting friends of friends. We have friends who live around Dallas, but not necessarily like in Dallas itself. Will you miss New York? I will definitely miss New York. We're both really gonna miss New York. I've had a lot of moments recently where it kind of just hit, because before it hadn't really hit that we were moving here, and it still felt like we were just here for a trip and not here for good. And I think it'll eventually feel like, oh, we're actually here for good. But there are a lot of things that I miss. One thing that's just really big that I wouldn't necessarily do around here is just walking around alone. I talked about this in my podcast, but I felt so comfortable to walk around New York City by myself. I never felt unsafe. I never felt worried just because there were so many people, versus here, I don't really know if I would walk around all around Dallas by myself like I would in the city. So that's one big thing that I miss. I miss my old neighborhood that I lived in. I miss my neighbors. I really miss Levain cookies. I need to find a good cookie place here, because whenever I would go on dates with Aiden, we tell ourselves like, we're not getting Levain, we're not getting Levain. And then eventually he would go to drop me off and we would get Levain cookies because it was so close by. And I really miss that a lot. There were so many instances in New York where I just felt like I was in a movie. Like I would be walking somewhere, I'd look up and it was beautiful and there were just all these different types of people and it just felt like you were in a movie scene. And I kind of miss moments like that as well. And there are things that I don't miss about New York. Like for one, commuting. I don't miss getting groceries and having to carry them back or wheel them back. I brought over a lot of groceries to our apartment today and it was so nice just pulling up in my car and unloading them. I don't miss summers in New York because we never had a pool in New York really, because we wouldn't use like public pools. And so it was just hot and sweaty and you couldn't go in a pool, versus now it's nice having a pool to get into. How did y'all decide to live in Texas instead of New York City? So I did a whole video on why we are living here. If you guys want to check that out, it's all about kind of our move and all that stuff. So I'm probably not going to answer that just because I talked a lot about that in that video. What are you looking forward to most about being married? So I get this question a lot and I think I've answered it before, but I feel like it changes the longer that we go engaged. But I think obviously the biggest thing would just be living together, because we have been waiting to live together until we're married. I'm so excited just building this home, and there's just something special about knowing that it's your husband that you're living with and just having a place where we can settle into. I talked about this also on the podcast. Ever since we were dating in New York, he would always commute and drop me off at my apartment. And it's just nice to know that there will be no dropping me off anymore. Like we can just stay here and stay here together. And I think that that's just a really sweet thing that I can't wait for. We've always looked forward to traveling together, which obviously is not really a thing right now either. But once we can, I'm excited to go to these places that we've always dreamt of going to together. And honestly, just doing like little things together all the time. We went the other day to Walmart and just picked up a lot of random stuff for our apartment, just like cleaning supplies. It was just fun grocery shopping with him because that was something that I've never really done with him before, and it was just sweet. And I don't know, just the small things too. I think that they're just really special. Have you had Botox? I have not had Botox. What's your style, inspiration, and theme for decorating your apartment? So I don't really know an exact theme that we have. We kind of like lighter pieces. I almost like the more beachy style, and he does too. I'll insert some photos on my Pinterest that I've saved that I like. I also really like rattan stuff too. So that's something that I really want to kind of integrate more, and like bamboo pieces. I don't know, I wouldn't say it's like modern or traditional. We're kind of just mixing stuff and hoping it works. So that's kind of our plan right now. We really want to get a really big piece of art to go here, but obviously that's not going to happen for a little bit because we might have to get it made or printed or something. But this wall's huge, so I think it'd be really pretty having some sort of like landscape painting there. Would you consider doing more faith-based videos? I get this question a lot, and I definitely sprinkle my faith into my videos here and there, but I don't do a lot of just dedicated faith videos. So if that is something you'd like to see, let me know. I just try to be cognizant of the fact that I know a lot of people of different faiths who aren't necessarily Christians watch these videos, and I'm really grateful that a lot of the people who do comment who aren't Christian, they still feel like they resonate with my videos and feel that our faiths are similar in the way that I talk about them, and just are really respectful of the way that I talk about my faith. And I'm really thankful for that, because I know that that's not the case with everyone else. And so I just want to say thank you. That is kind of the reason why I don't do a ton of just faith dedicated videos, but I do try to integrate it in my videos because it is something that that is, you know, of the utmost importance to me personally. What is something you know you'll have to work on when beginning your marriage? I like this question because there are obviously going to be a lot of things, and I think most of the things I'm not going to know until we're actually married and living together. There are habits that I know that he has and habits that I know that I have that are like annoying habits, but I think that those are naturally just things that are going to come up. I think for me, I am very particular about the space in terms of things being neat and clean and tidy, almost to a point where I can't focus if everything's not in its place, and it's probably one of my worst traits because I hate this. And there's something about in my room at home, I don't really mind if that is not as neat, but something about having your own place, you just almost want to pick it up more. And so I think that I'm really gonna have to work on just not being super type A about everything in the place, because I know he's more relaxed with that stuff. So I got a question about what kind of setting my engagement ring is. And so my ring, I'm just gonna try to hold it up. My ring is just a solitaire diamond with a yellow gold band, kind of a little bit closer, but that is, I don't know what the setting is on it. I think like a 4-prong. I don't know if that's what it is. I honestly didn't research rings or have a dream ring. I just knew I wanted a solitaire diamond with a yellow gold band, and that's what I have. I think it's a round diamond, I'm pretty sure. How do you control your online shopping? I wanted to answer this one because this has been a big thing for me recently, just with making a lot of purchases between the wedding, between our apartment, and just everything, and having to buy a car because we're living here now. It's just been a lot of expenses at once. And so I have felt very intimidated, like I'm going to keep spending a lot because I'm just used to like buying all these things right now. And I'm very thankful that I have saved money for this time of my life, and I have saved knowing that these purchases would eventually come. But it doesn't change the fact that it's very intimidating when you're spending a lot of money at once. And so once we get married, we're really going to double down on saving and budgeting once the place is done. And so I'm really excited for that kind of content phase because I think it'll be really helpful, and I'm gonna try to do some challenges and just stuff that I think will help get us more into gear with saving our money again, because I think that there are times in your life where you do naturally have to spend more money, and I'm trying to be careful because I don't ever wanna come off as materialistic, and I've obviously been showing a lot of stuff that I've been buying lately, but it is a time in my life where we need like a bed and stuff like that. And so I just want you guys to know that it's not going to be this way forever, because I am going to have to stop spending money very soon. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I think for online shopping, you just have to stop. There's no way to restrict yourself. The other day, I was on my way to deposit something in my bank account, and Starbucks happens to be right by my bank, and I always stop at Starbucks just because it's like my first instinct. And that time I just told myself, you are not gonna stop by Starbucks. You don't need it. There's coffee at home. And I just didn't go. And I feel like when you commit to doing it once, it gets so much easier to committing to doing it for the long haul. Really, really hard when you follow influencers too, who are posting sales. I think the Nordstrom anniversary sale is about to come up, which is not bad, but it can kind of make you want to buy things that you think you need that you don't need. And I would just encourage you not to do that. And if you have to mute people, mute them on Instagram. If you have to block yourself from literally shopping on these websites, do that. I'm a big believer that you should just cut temptation from you, and that means sometimes eliminating the source of the temptation. How have you managed your anxiety during the pandemic? So I'm gonna be careful with answering this because I know there are a lot of people who are clinically diagnosed with anxiety, and that is not me, so I'm not saying I have anxiety. However, I think that anyone during this time, it can be very easy to get anxious when you're not necessarily diagnosed with anxiety and medicated for it. So I just want to make that distinction. But I can say in March and April and a little bit into May, I was extremely anxious just for a lot of different reasons, dealing with some medical things, just a lot of different stuff. And some things that really helped me were, one, going for walks outside. I would just go for these long, like hour-and-a-half walks, and I would just listen to music, and that really helped me. Not going on Instagram as much, not scrolling, seeing what everyone's up to, just being off my phone more. I know everyone says that, but it really helps, guys. Like, it helps so much because we were never meant to be exposed to what every single person out there was doing. You were never meant to be exposed to all these different videos, all this different stuff. And so I I've tried to be more selective about the people that I watch regularly, and that has helped a lot. And I think one just really big thing is talking to people. I had one night where we were eating dinner and my mom could just tell that something was bothering me. And she literally just asked like, are you okay? And I just broke down. I started crying. My whole family had to talk to me for 2 hours. And they just kept telling me like, Michelle, you don't tell us when you're upset about stuff. You don't tell us when things are bothering you. And so I would just highly encourage you to reach out to someone. And if you don't have anyone, feel free to DM me on Instagram, leave me a comment. Sometimes I won't see the DM, but if you leave me a comment, just say, hey, I DM'd you, I will check it out. But just let people know how you're feeling. It is so important, and you don't realize how much pent up emotion you have when you're not spilling that out to other people. So I'd highly recommend talking to someone, but at the same time, don't talk to everyone. You don't need to tell everyone and get input from everybody in your life. Have a few people who you just trust and you know you can go to, and go to those people. So I think that those are all the questions that I'm gonna answer today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed just getting to chat for a little bit and talk through things. I hope you all are feeling great. Let me know down below how you're feeling. If you're having a bad day, if you're having a good day. I always read my comments for the first hour that the video goes up and try to respond to a lot of them. So if you're in that first hour, feel free to leave a comment. I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.